Hello, I'm Matteo, the Chief Mobile Opinionist here at Tech Travel Geeks, and today we're going to unbox and set up the Moto G13. Those of you who are enthusiasts of Motorola products and in particular Android devices may be saying, Matt, why are you unboxing and setting up a phone that's almost a year and a half old? And all I'll say is that that's all Motorola had to send us. Not only that, we're working on a series of videos of under £100 devices that you can currently buy on Amazon. Just as we recently unboxed and set up the Umidigi G5A, which is under £100 on Amazon UK, we'll be doing the same with the Moto G13, which is in exactly the same price range. What are the differences and similarities? We'll do a separate video about that in the future. But let's just have a quick look at the packaging of the Motorola G13. It has a bit of extra details about the specifications and specifically about the camera of the Moto G13 on the back, and the fact that it has a 50 megapixel quad camera. It has a 5000 milliamp hour battery, and it does stereo sound, which for a device under £100 is truly impressive. But let's see what's inside the box. Bit of a warning, this box has already been opened. This has been obviously reviewed by someone else. But let's see what it looks like after we've looked at what else is in the box. So inside the box, there's obviously a power cable, which by the looks of it is USB Type A to USB Type C, standard black cable, and a charger. This is a UK travel charger, which pops out and charges your device. So USB A female on here for the cable that's provided in the box. Let's just have a look at what the output is like. According to this, it is 5 volts at 2 amps. That's 10 watt charging. Now, according to the spec sheet and Motorola's website, this device is capable of charging at 20 watts, but you're only provided with a 10 watt charger in the box. I suppose that's one of the ways they can reduce the cost of the package they're shipping and ensure the price is under that magic £100 price point. Then you have a little leaflet introducing you to the Moto G13 and where the key buttons and items are. There's a little instruction booklet on how to handle SIM cards and more. And here we have an extra leaflet about SAR, which is something to do with radiation and how it hits you in the head when you're using a smartphone. Anyway, I'll put all that literature in the box aside and let's focus on the device itself. Now, as it comes out of the box, in this case, Motorola have included a TPU case. One that Chris over at TechSpert refers to as condom cases, and that's pretty much what it is. Now, let's take this off. The Motorola branding is not on the case, as you can see. The Motorola branding is on the phone, and this is a pretty color. I really like it. It's almost iridescent, almost pearlescent. I wouldn't know exactly how to describe that. So let's take a look at a few other details here. So we have that triple camera setup with a main 50 megapixel sensor, a macro camera and a depth sensor and an LED flash. We have a power button which doubles up as a fingerprint sensor, as we've seen on many other devices in the past. This is my actual preferred solution, is to have a power button which is also a fingerprint scanner. It's more accessible, you can feel it, and you can get a better understanding of where to put your finger, unlike on-screen readers where you really need to have visual to understand where to put your finger. You have a little volume rocker. At the top you have the Courage port, that's a 3.5mm audio jack, as well as the Dolby Atmos branding at the top, because Dolby Atmos is the sound system that is supported by the Moto G13. At the bottom you have a microphone hole, USB Type-C for data and charging, and what I'm assuming is your speaker array here. And that's about it. Okay, so hardware-wise, interesting. As it came out of the box, this did not have a screen protector on it. Because we're not the first people reviewing this phone, we're not the first people unboxing it, I don't know if it came with one or not. Just as with the accessories, I would advise you to check specifically in your market what comes in the box with your Moto G13. And also check if it has any further details on Motorola's website or on Amazon or wherever else you're buying it from. Right, so let's open up this SIM tray and have a look at what is on offer on the Moto G13. So interestingly, the SIM ejector tool that I have on my desk doesn't work, it's too short. And there is a SIM ejector tool in the box, which is attached to a bit of card there. It's an interestingly formed SIM ejector tool. It is definitely deeper, but it's also slightly shaped. This is something that I've seen before on Lenovo smartphones, but it's the first time I've seen one on a Motorola one. Let's see what comes out when I pop this in the SIM tray. There we go. Longer one works. And we have quite a long tray. This is because this SIM tray supports 2 nano SIM cards as well as micro SD. This is really good because it does away with that trade-off that you usually have to have, is 1 nano SIM and a micro SD card, or 2 nano SIMs. This gives you the best of both. You can have 2 nano SIMs and 1 micro SD. So really good news there. Now, for the purposes of this setup video, I'm only going to use 1 SIM card. That's 1 nano SIM, in this case my Smarty UK SIM card, and I'm going to pop that into the tray. Have I got it right? Probably not. Will I get it right this time? Hopefully. So it is a long tray. And it is a bit fiddly to get the tray back in. Here we go, and that's in place. Great. So now we've done that, this is a good start. I will be doing a full video, a follow-up video to this one, with how to manage your SIM cards and micro SD cards on the Moto G13. If you don't already, subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks, and if you do and have that notification bell on, you'll be notified of when we publish that video. Right, let's long press the power button and turn the Moto G13 on. Nice, deep, wide Motorola logo and that powered by Android logo at the bottom. Now, as far as I'm aware, the device, the Moto G13, launched in 2023, so almost a year and a half ago.
Hello, Moto.
Whoa, hello, Moto. I've not heard that one in a while. And that means that as it launched, it came with Android 13. Let's see how it is nowadays. Now, interestingly, this Moto G13 doesn't go through a setup process. It comes, let's call it, dirty. So what I'm going to do is, before we go any further, I'm going to go to Settings. Just make sure there's no accounts on this. And go to System, Reset Options, just in case the previous reviewer's details are on the device. Let's erase all data and go through that. Now, I will do a separate video on how to factory reset your Motorola Moto G13, or for those of you who are a bit more aware of the situation, the Lenovo G13. This is a process that wipes the phone, takes any data off, and shows us what a new device that comes out of the box has as in terms of a setup experience. Now, there's a few restarts. There is some pretty decent haptic feedback from the haptic feedback engine, the vibrator motor on the device. It's definitely less mushy than the other devices in this price category, which is a good thing in my view. But let's wait till the Motorola logo finishes loading and we get that almost spooky Hello Moto bits come through.
Hello, Moto.
I think we timed that pretty well. So now that we've factory reset the device, we should go through the usual setup experience, where we'll see how the setup of the Moto G13 works, what services and functionalities you're prompted to go through. Now, I have put a UK SIM card in here, so by default it's suggesting I use English United Kingdom, and it says hello. Hello to you, Moto G13. Now next up, we'll connect to a Wi-Fi network. So that's me connected, and relative to other devices in this price category, it's pretty fast. This Motorola Moto G13 is running on a MediaTek Helio G85 chipset. It's not the newest, it's not the fastest chip. You wouldn't expect that in the sub £100 sterling price range, but it is faster than other devices I've played around with at this price. Now, for some reason, the Moto G13 can't connect to the internet, which is a bit of a pain. It says that it's limited connection. According to all the other devices on my desk, everything's fine. So let's set this up offline. Maybe it's just a clock thing. So privacy and software updates, we trust Motorola, we trust Lenovo. That's great. Google services, yes, in Google we trust. The makers of Android, we trust them. Next up, I'll set up a PIN code. Great, and once we've set up a PIN code, we need to set up our fingerprint scanner. I'm really excited about this because that power button that we covered earlier with a quick overview of the hardware is the fingerprint scanner. And now I'm pressing my thumb repeatedly on the scanner so that it can map out what my thumb looks like to the scanner. Okay, so that's my fingerprint added. That was pretty painless and simple. And remember, we're doing this offline. Join 126 million Motorola fans who receive exclusive information about product launches, events, tips, software updates, and much more. Okay, go ahead. Enter your email address. I'll just do this. Now, next up, this is a really interesting setting, which I'm actually very fond of. It gives you the option to choose at setup if you have navigation buttons at the bottom or if to go with gestures. Now, we'll do a separate video on how to have navigations, change your navigation style, change between gesture navigation and button navigation. But for the purposes of this video, we'll go with buttons because that's, from what we see on our YouTube channel, what most people are looking for. Next up, you can choose your theme. Do you want light or dark? I'm going to go with dark. I much prefer it. It means my eyes get less tired whilst using a smartphone. And that's the offline setup of the Moto G13. Now, I'm a bit worried about the fact that it didn't connect to the internet. It has taken the time from my SIM card, so it is connected to the SIM network and it is getting that information from there. Let's see if after the initial setup, we're allowed to connect to Wi-Fi. Okay then, now I'm connected to the internet, fantastic. So this was quite a pain point. We hadn't finished setting things up. So I'm going to go into the settings on the Moto G13 and let's see, account. Search for account in settings. No, it doesn't have anything. Let's see if the G word does it. Delete your Google account. I have to add an account. Great. Here we go. So this should be part of the initial setup of your smartphone. If you have a Google account, you sign in, And as part of it, it also sets up your Google Assistant. It sets up your email, calendar, and everything to sync so that you have a pretty seamless transition if you've previously had an Android device, or if you're just a Gmail or Google Services user. Everything's tied in nicely. So I'll just set this up. Now, this is a really good thing. You have two-step verification. I advise you all to set this up if you have a Google account. It's the safest way to manage your account. Always have multi-factor authentication turned on to avoid people hijacking your Google account. So we're going to set up this, and I agree with the terms of service because in Google we trust, as I've said many times before. And I'm going to set up basic device backup, so that should be that done. Great, now we've set that up, we can go and complete our Android setup. So we've done that. Let's go to the Play Store. This is Google's App Store for Android devices, and let us put all the updates that are on the device in place. So this is obviously a very old version of the Google Play Store. The design has significantly changed. I have a feeling this has been reset to factory settings from quite a while ago. No updates available. That's odd. That's very odd. Okay, let's have a look at what's pre-installed. I haven't installed any apps, so obviously we have Google Assistant, Calculator, Calendar, Camera, Chrome, Device Help, this is obviously a Motorola one, Dolby Atmos, it's a Dolby thing. It does have an FM radio, that's really good to see. I'm assuming this FM radio will require that 3.5mm audio jack to use as an antenna to connect to FM radio channels, but good to see that in the device. There's also Google TV, and then Motorola N. We don't know what this is. Let's see what this app is. It's loading, so we must be connected to the internet. Oh, it's essentially the Motorola notifications and newsletter we signed up for earlier. And the only app I can see pre-installed here is Temu or Temu. Is it simple to uninstall? Let's see. Let's long press on that. App info. Uninstall. If you think a separate video on how to uninstall apps on the Moto G13 would be useful to you, let us know in the comments section below. And then once you've done so, subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks, have that notification bell on, and you'll be notified as soon as that's happened. As that's happened, another app's just appeared, one that wasn't there previously. It's called Pinterest. That looks like the bloatware is installing after I've set up the phone. Let's see what's happening to the Play Store at the moment. Maybe it will update now. This looks like the new version of the Play Store, which is much more up to date. Update, something went wrong, try again, let's retry. Check for updates, this is definitely a different screen. And no, multiple checks. Oh, finally, it's found all the updates that are required. Essentially, every update on the phone needs updated. So I'm going to update all apps. This is going to take a while. So YouTube Music is obviously the default music player on the device. I am a subscriber to YouTube Premium, and I find it works out for me. You get YouTube, the video service, the one you're watching this video on with no ads. You also get YouTube Music, which is YouTube and Google's equivalent of Spotify. Now this may take a while to install. As we've seen, some things take a while to get going. Maybe it's something to do with the fact we didn't finish the setup because it wasn't connecting to the internet. So it's suggesting we install apps. So Google One, Google Home, Google Fit, Google Docs, Google Find My Device, Voice Access, Google Wallet, Google News, Google Podcasts. Sadly, Google Podcasts is going away. It's being discontinued altogether. Do I want Motorola's apps such as Opera, TikTok and YouTube Live? I don't really have an option. There is no option to say no. Huh. Oh well. This is a bit of a dark pattern. This is not very good. Do I want TikTok, Opera, LinkedIn and Booking.com on my phone? No, but I have pretty much no choice. And once I click OK, things start installing. Okay, so let's press Update All and let this go on in the background. We are connected to the internet. The Google Play Store has updated. It's probably updating itself again because I didn't touch anything and it is restarting. It is running in the background though because I can see that the apps are installing. Great. So, not great. The phone did not connect to the internet once it was connected to my Wi-Fi. And that's definitely not a network issue because I have other stuff on my desk that's connected. Once we did that, we set up the Google account through there, through the internet, and I was able to use multi-factor authentication. So internet is working here. I don't remember installing Wudoku. This is quite worrying. There's quite a few bloatware apps just appearing out of nowhere. They're not there when you set up the phone at first, but they're installing themselves as we go. You saw Pinterest just magically appeared from nowhere, and now Wudoku. So I'm a bit disappointed by that, but hey, if the phone's less than £100, there must be a way that they can make the phone that price. Obviously, they're installing apps like Dice Streams. This is quite worrying. How much more bloatware is going to come onto the device? As we go, because these are silent updates. There's no notification of where they're coming from, and as we saw initially, they were not on the list of apps already installed. So there must be another process in the background that's downloading these apps that may be useful to you, but on the other hand, may not be. Great, okay, so I think it's time to wrap this one up. I've been rambling on for long enough. This was our unboxing and setup of a review device sent to us by Motorola. So thanks to the team over at Motorola's PR firm for sending us this. We'll be doing, as I said, a series of videos about the Moto G13 over the next weeks, potentially months, about how to use the device, initial impressions, camera performance, battery performance, and so on. So if you'd like to see more of our content about the Motorola G13, as well as other devices such as the DG G5A, that looks familiar, and other devices, accessories, gadgets, fashion, anything we think makes the travel experience better, make sure you're subscribed to the Tech Travel Geeks here on YouTube, have that notification bell turned on. And as usual, if you'd like to know more, if you'd like to ask us any questions, please do leave us a comment in the section below. We'll do our best to get back to you, and if the question's good enough, we'll probably do a dedicated video to answer your question. With that, I'll leave the Motorola G13 to carry on setting itself up in the background, load itself with bloatware, and I will thank you again for watching. Goodbye from me.